Am I the a-hole for telling my wife that I'm ending our marriage because I found her brother at our house again and said it in front of him? 5 years together, 4 married. I have battled her lack of boundaries with her family for the past 2 years. I understand that they are very close-knit, but she never paid attention to how their dynamics affected our relationship. I experienced every just no family situation. My food was eaten, they showed up uninvited, meddled, you name it. 9 months ago, mother-in-law and father-in-law began divorce proceedings. He cheated, fell madly in love with a side chick he's lived with for the past 15 years, and decided he wants to get remarried. He kicked everyone out of the house. It was an emergency, so I agreed to help out. I so freaking regret it. I had to take 4 people in, but they couldn't think to avoid constantly pissing me off. I got sick of finding them using our private bathroom. They had complete access to the other full bathroom by the hallway. Sister-in-laws started taking naps on our bed, which is creepy because a bed is too personal. I came home late and we had to wake her up and still wait for her to snap out of her groggy state so she could walk out. It lasted for 3 months, but the problems persisted. No matter how many times I told my wife or even told them, they still showed up at random hours. Even if I didn't run into them, I knew she was allowing them to come over. I hated their presence. They would eat my snacks and get on my expensive recliner, which again, they didn't contribute a penny for. I had a mini orchard that they picked empty. Things got so tense that I blew up at her in front of them. They left, we had a fight, and I ended up sleeping in a hotel. I warned her many times about being fed up and needing her to support me. She acted like I was demanding that she abandon her family. Today, I came home to find her brother's car blocking the entrance. Not parked on the side, not even in the driveway, just right in the middle, where my only option was to drive on the lawn. I went inside, and he was laying on the couch with his shoes on. He gave me this fresh smile like he was untouchable. I went to our bedroom, packed as much of my belongings as possible, and ignored her pleas to talk. There's nothing else to talk about. I already called a few lawyers but haven't received any replies yet. She cried, but at this point, I have no empathy. I don't even know if I overreacted or if I should have discussed this in private. I feel defeated and angry, and I also hate her family with my soul. They knew they were hurting our relationship, and they didn't care. She knew I'm a private person who hates being invaded. I helped them because I loved her, and I didn't have the balls to let them sleep in their car. We don't have kids, but there are so many things that will be left undone. I loved her so much, but I just can't do this. She called me immediately after I left, and I told her my decision is final. She sounded shaken, but I told her that, right now, I despise her and will never be able to sleep next to her again. Sorry for any typos. I have a migraine right now. I'm just coming here because I want to ask, was leaving the way I did an a-hole move? Should I have announced my intention to end our marriage after her brother was gone? Now for the top comments. Not much to say, OP. Not the a-hole. You stated all the facts. She knew. Her family knew. That is in no way for you to have to exist in your home. I'm glad you left. I want to know the brother's reaction to you saying you were leaving her in front of him. Come on, details. Nothing. He looked surprised, but mostly kept his, "it's not my fault I'm innocent" face, as always. Have you asked your wife why she cares so little about herself that she allows her family to run her over and disrespect her marriage and its boundaries? I tried everything, but she feels like she needs to indulge them. I would have preferred they came over while I wasn't home, but I didn't trust her or them not to disrespect my belongings. It was everything: food, toiletries that went missing, etc. She got on the defensive and said that I had it out for her family, hence our fighting. As an introvert, I am wholly on your side. It takes energy just to have people in my space for a few hours, and I would go barmy if it went on for weeks. The boundary stomping, invasion of my privacy, stealing and entitlement would have me in a red rage. Your wife has walked all over your discomfort, ignored your needs, and placed you at the bottom of her priorities. I would leave too. As an extrovert, I am wholly on his side too. No excuse for letting your family walk all over your partner. Not gonna lie, The shoes on the couch would have alone unhinged me. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to lower my baby daddy's child support? So, my baby daddy is ordered to pay close to $1,000 in child support a month for our one child, 3.5 years old. Long story short, that amount was agreed upon during our divorce because he had a job at the time that could easily afford it. Since he left our child home alone at 17 months, I was awarded sole legal and physical custody, and he gets visitation. This all happened when our daughter was around 18 months old. Fast forward 2 years, and this man has left job after job and keeps taking jobs that pay significantly less to avoid paying child support. It's all been put into the system. He's even been to court and threatened with jail. Now, fast forward to a couple of weeks ago, he called me asking about lowering the child support. He said they'd be taking $281 from him weekly and that he'd be left with basically nothing. Side note, he owes over $15,000 in back pay and over $3,000 in medical expenses. He still hasn't filed taxes for 2 years. He also hasn't seen our daughter in over 2 months, nor does he call to check on her. I've told him to just give up his rights, but he refuses. So, I got frustrated with him and told him I've been trying my hardest to keep my cool, but him calling me and asking this is making me mad. I told him I couldn't care less if he gets it lowered. I have a master's degree and am a government contractor, so I make good money, but I would not be the one to request it. That's on him. He claims the child support office never responds to him, etc. We go back to court in May to make sure he's paying, and I know he's worried about jail. He also struggles a lot and had to move back in with his sister because he makes basically nothing. I do feel bad that he can't get ahead because of this, especially when I can take care of our daughter without him. But for me, it's the principle of it. I'd be more than fine with him relinquishing his rights and removing himself from my and her life. He said he would a couple of times, then changes his mind. So, am I the a-hole for refusing my ex-husband's request to lower child support due to his lack of effort? Not the a-hole. He purposely took jobs that pay less to avoid paying child support. It's not your responsibility to ask to pay for less. It's his. This is so cut and dry. It is not your problem. Oh yeah, he is. He first had a good plumbing job and did things to get himself fired. And then instead of getting a comparable job, he got one making significantly less from the gate. And then has been doing that until he found one under the table. I do not have personal experience with this, but my understanding is that judges do not take kindly to someone intentionally losing or avoiding work to get out of paying child support. If you can prove it, make sure you submit the evidence. And even if you don't need the money, get it. It's for your kid, not you. Make a savings account for your kiddo and deposit any support money you don't need for her expenses into that account. No reason she can't get a head start later in life. In my opinion, you put it in pretty simple terms. He relinquishes his rights and doesn't have to pay, or he stays her dad and has to act like a responsible father would and pay his child support. Good luck to you and your daughter. That's exactly how I feel. I've told him he can fully walk away, but if he's determined to keep rights to her, then he's going to be financially responsible. Have you checked with your lawyer? Most states won't let a parent relinquish rights in a case like this unless you have a spouse ready to adopt and step in. So I have looked into it. I've been informed that even if he agrees, a judge could deny it because of that reasoning. My boyfriend, who's been around since my divorce, will definitely be willing to adopt her once we are married. We just aren't there yet. Taking things slow for mine and my daughter's well-being. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to drive my brother to his own wedding after he told his fiancée I'm too unstable to be a bridesmaid? So I, 22 female, have been ride or die for my brother Liam, 28 male, and his whole rushed engagement to Charlotte, 26 female. I helped pick out the ring, listened to him freak out over every dumb little detail, even sat through Charlotte's meltdown over napkin colors. Like, I've been in it. I was supposed to be a bridesmaid, had the dress, the shoes, was in the group chat with all the Pinterest links and bride vibes spam. Then out of nowhere last week, Charlotte calls me crying and says I'm out of the wedding party. I'm like, what? Why? She gets all awkward and then drops the bomb. Liam said you've got too much mental health stuff going on, and he's worried you'll cause drama. For context, yeah, I had a rough year. Breakup, therapy, got diagnosed with anxiety and depression. But I've been doing the work. I've never flipped out at family stuff. Never made anything about me. I've been chill. So I just stayed quiet. I didn't want to start something. Then, yesterday, Liam hits me up all casual like, "Hey, best man's sick. Can you drive me to the venue?" I texted back, "Nah, I'm too unstable to drive. Wouldn't want to cause a scene." Now everyone's calling me petty. Mom says I'm being immature and should be the bigger person for his big day. The whole family group chat is basically guilt-tripping me. But like, why is it always me who's supposed to eat the disrespect and still show up with a smile? Am I the a-hole? Honestly, I think you just gave the best wedding gift ever. A dramatic plot twist. Who needs a soap opera when you have family dynamics like this? Limao, right? Who needs Netflix when my fam's out here dropping plot twists for free? Imagine the thought process of being like, she had a really tough year. Let's exclude her from this really special, once-in-a-lifetime day. This is so hurtful. I'm sorry they did this to you. You are handling it with grace and maintaining firm boundaries. How would you feel about showing them this thread? Because your parents are also being massive a-holes by doing or saying nothing to have your back. I wonder if there is something more going on. Either way, these people seem pretty self-centered. The good news for OP is that her brother and his bride-to-be are such a-holes that this most definitely won't be a once-in-a-lifetime event. Not the a-hole. Here's a response. Add or subtract whatever you'd like. Why are none of you standing up for me? He lied. He called me unstable after everything I've done and money I've spent to be a part of the wedding. With one lie, he kicked me out for no reason. I owe him nothing. Has he shown I'm nothing to him? You all know the year I've had, the work I've done, and how much I love my brother. This isn't about me being the bigger person. This is about me treating him the way he treated me. This hits hard. Might tweak it a little, but you definitely said what I've been thinking. Like, why is nobody calling out the fact that he straight up lied on my name and kicked me out after everything I did for them? I was ride or die for that wedding. And he tossed me like I was nothing? This ain't me being petty. It's me finally matching the energy. If that makes people uncomfortable, maybe they should ask why they were cool with me getting disrespected in the first place. I don't think you are being petty. You are standing up for yourself and refusing to be used by someone who has treated you horribly. Brother or not, love him or not, how he is treating you is unacceptable. He's an a-hole. Last story. Am I the a-hole for agreeing when my mom told me I'm not even trying to make this my new home and telling her I just want to go home? I, 17 female, moved states with my mom, her husband, and his kids when I was 13. My mom's husband got a job offer in his hometown, and he wanted to be near his family, and my mom okayed it. This took us away from my family and the people I lived with for 11 years. Before my mom moved in with her husband, we lived with her parents, my grandparents. I never met my dad, so for me, my core family was my mom and my grandparents. I had 2 aunts and an uncle, along with their spouses and kids, all living within 15 minutes of our old house too. The move was great for my mom's stepkids. They got to be close to their families, both their dad's side and their late mom's. Their mom died, so it was emphasized that it would be extra special and important for them. They always wanted to go back home because this was always home to them. But to me, my home is where we moved from. When we were first told about the move, I said straight up that I didn't want to leave my family behind. My mom told me I wasn't, because we were all moving together. I didn't see the step family as my family though. To me, my family is still my mom and everyone back home, especially my grandparents. Her husband has tried to fill the role of my dad, but my grandpa and uncle already filled the fatherly figure role for me. And I'll admit, the fact that he took me away from my family to be near his makes me less open to being close to him. I had no choice in the move, so I went with them, but I always saw it as temporary and planned to move back home as soon as I could. My mom has tried to make this my home. She put me in extracurricular activities, let me do stuff I was never allowed to do back home, and tried to use things to make me love it here. But I hated every second of being here. Now that I'm 7 months away from being able to move home again, it's all I can think about. I've spoken to my grandparents about moving back in with them when I can. They're on board and excited to have me back. We were talking about some of the logistics when my mom came home and overheard some of my side of that discussion. She got upset and asked why I was already planning on leaving, and I told her that I always wanted to. She told me she wanted to strangle me, not literally, but because we had so much going for us where we are now, and I can't see it. She said I could have used the move to get everything I wanted, and it would have worked. Then she said I'm not even trying to make this place home, and I agreed. I told her I never wanted the move and that, for me, home isn't about stuff, it's about people. I left most of my family behind when we moved, and I just want to go home. I've always just wanted to go home. She acted like I slapped her. She told me she knew I considered her my family, but to say I left most when I had her husband and his kids here meant I didn't even count them. She said it's been 6 years since we all started living together, so that was a hard thing to hear. She told me she couldn't understand me, and that most teenagers wouldn't give a crap about the people they left. They'd kill for the stuff she gave me since we moved. She also said her husband would be really gut-punched to realize that while he's been bonding with me and seeing me as his daughter, I only ever saw him as the guy who made me move. She said I was totally selfish and didn't even love her enough to accept this because she loves me and she loves him and his kids. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. It's not your responsibility to make your stepdad happy. Go back to your grandparents and be happy. Yes, OP's mom is the a-hole here. You're supposed to love the stuff we give you, not the people we left behind. WTF. Not the a-hole. What burns me is the comment about OP not loving her mother enough to do what the mother wants. That's just like saying, if you loved me, you'd do X. OP's mom had the right to marry someone and move if she felt that was best, but it seems like she just ignored OP's feelings and is now blindsided by the fact that OP wants to go home. Most teenagers wouldn't care about the people, but would kill for the material things? Well, heck, that just demonstrates OP's emotional maturity. And finally, it seems like there was an emphasis on the move being for the stepkids because they lost their mom and needed their family. But OP's bio dad wasn't in the picture, and she needed her family too. It feels like the stepkids' needs were placed above hers, and now mom is shocked. My mom put her marriage first. She knew her husband was moving back regardless. He was putting his kids first, and in order to make me go along with it better, my mom used them too. But I think in reality she wanted to be where he was. My mom tried to buy away my feelings with stuff.